Hey fans, today I'll be showcasing the first Minecraft dimensional mod I'll be ever showcasing to begin with. It's called Aroma's 1997's Mining Dimension. It won't be the most exciting dimension I'll cover in this series, but I sure hope I'll be covering several in the series. Now, in order to craft these portal frame blocks, first you have to craft this mining multi-tool. It's also the same thing that you'll be using to activate the portal. Once you get this mining tool, you just simply have to right click on the bottom as if it were flint and steel, activating that portal right over there. And another thing that makes this portal unique, you have to sneak in order to, well, go through. By default, it's the left shift button. This dimension is probably for those that need a big space to build or a mine. By by default, in the config, you can have double the amount of ores in this dimension as the overworld, and any ores that appear in the overworld are likely to appear here too. Although not as frequently as vanilla ores, from what I've figured out. And in the config, you can set up to a maximum of 100. But that'll include other things that you can't smell, like gravel and dirt and so forth. Now, like I said, building. Now, first, the update that I'll be mentioning the title in concerning Tinker's Construct. What I didn't realize at the time I made the video is that manilium, the purple material I was talking about, for the blades and so forth, was an alloy, which means in this case it was made from these two metals, and both of which are found in the nether. At first I thought they were in the overworld, but okay, I was mistaken. Now, what am I going to be mining them with? This wooden pickaxe. That'll blow some people's minds, I'm sure. Try that trick on somebody and see what they do. You have to cast this kit by first making a wooden one or something, and then using a smeltery to smelt obsidian and form into that shape. But you have to have flint with it. Now, here comes the part where I'm going to blow somebody's mind, I'm sure. Now, sure, wooden isn't the fastest, but I just had to pull it on somebody at least. But it can be any pick. I just used wooden to demonstrate that. You see, these metals require a mining level above diamond, so any mods that have a pick by that description will be able to mine it too. But I was just using Tinker's Construct in case you couldn't think of anything. Now, the reason why I put these here is because a friend of mine by the name of Deacon had actually figured out that hoppers can actually take the output of these casting tables and bins, left the output to a chest. And you can push a button. Oh, that's right. Wrong game mode. You can actually output these by redstone signal. And if you have 25 of these repeaters on full delay, you'll give it enough time to smelt the handles, the handguards, and the longest taking, the blades. You see, the more material it takes, the longer it takes to smelt and, well, output. Now, another unique thing, you can actually have these set to where the buttons will individually activate once, say if you need more of one certain thing. However, you need to be careful about having it output onto that particular one. Now, if you're going to do something else, you're probably going to adjust the time limit for each one, or each set in this case. And just remember, if you're going to make a set of armor for every sword that you have these for, then you're going to have 4 times those furnaces, or push the button for them 4 times more. Now, onto the mod that, oh, that's right. I had to adjust these to where there wasn't any output section here, because I wanted to be able to input several of these at once so you wouldn't have to manage it quite as much. Now let's turn this off so I won't have to worry about it. Now on to the mod you're probably more interested in, Ancient Warfare 2. Sorry if I took a while, but anyway. Now the first thing you'll want is a research table and an engineering table and a research book. 4 leather, 3 paper, 2 iron. Having iron in a book seems a little odd unless it's one of those spiral bound kind, but anyway. You'll need to first research what you want. You have it over here. There will be a plus sign over here. Click it in order to add it over here and research what you need. Now, depending on what the config says, by default, you'll require resources. It'll range from wheat to diamonds. So you'll be able to research some things early on, but not everything. You can adjust it to where it uses content of a chest or something, but I haven't quite figured that part out, and I'm fine with just putting it here. So you don't have to match it position for position. If it has wheat here, you can put wheat anywhere in here and it'll accept it. It'll also tell you anything of any kind of wheat that it'll accept. Some mods add other kinds of wheat and so forth. Now another thing, you can actually make workers to work these machines that you see me having out here. Now this is the lumberjack spot. You can have a lumberjack. Now in creative mode you can have workers already preset for a given job, but you can't actually craft this thing to spawn the lumberjack. You would have to just simply use this worker token and then give him the tool that he needs. You'll have to put whatever tool corresponds to his job right there. If it's a pig, he'll go do mining, and a hoe for farming. Now, as you can also tell, he requires resources here. And bone meal can go here. You can use bone meal to, well, on anything involves plants here. However, you can't have a hopper output this resources section, which is a pain for the animal farm, which I'll get down in a minute. Now this is a tree farm and how you craft it. You have to have the research book in order to craft these. If you take it out for some reason, you won't be able to craft it. Now luckily, whenever you research things on your table, any research you do in one book, thereafter any you craft will have the same research. Now, food bundles. You can either eat the food bundles, or you can use it to craft your citizenry. Now these hammers are to adjust which direction the machines will be facing if you don't want to manually move it by removing the block. And another thing, these people get hungry. They need to have a town hall that has food for them. And this is how you craft it. Now, workers are just one way to actually put energy in these machines, but I'll get over there eventually and show you how to get more power. Now, here is the wheat farm. Well, crop farm, okay. And you craft it this way. It'll do anything that has to grow from the ground, whether it be watermelon or some other kind of crops that are grown like wheat. Now, if it's dependent upon some other block, like cocoa beans is, you use the fruit farm. Now, sadly, this thing doesn't actually get to grow apples like I would have hoped, but that's fine by me. You can still put bone meal here too. Now, the animal farm. You probably remember me mentioning this. Here's how you craft it. Like I said, you can't have a hopper output in here, so that's one of the only irritations involved in this mod. You have to input stuff here. Now, there was some mod that allowed you to use bone meal to actually, use it on animals like they were plants. But that was some other standalone mod. I don't recall exactly what. But now the fishery. And this is how you craft it. But as you can imagine, there's a lot of junk that can get in there. Now, one way to solve this is to have a hopper feed into a chest from underneath. And that also solves another problem. If you craft one of these and you have a friend over, like say Joe, Joe won't be able to access these machines unless you actually have a hopper feeding into something else. That's also how a griefer would get to it, but typically I don't have to worry about that sort of thing in single player. Now onto the other machines. Well, other machine, sorry. The quarry. It can actually mine things up, and here's how you make it. Now, another thing that you've probably noticed is that this tree farm is rather small in comparison to the other farms. That's because of something like this. The quarry upgrade is specifically for the quarry, but there are other upgrades. The 9x9 upgrade, and the last two are for the quarry. Now, chunk loader. This will actually keep the chunk loaded for you. And this is the upgraded version of this basically. Yes, it requires more resources, but it can actually work if you're going to travel 1,000 blocks away and you need something to keep on working. And not just the quarry, but it'll work on all these other machines too. Only thing is I don't know if it'll work while it's dimensional. But anyway, here's a lightly enchanted tools upgrade and highly enchanted tools upgrade. This is specifically for the quarry if I recall. If it works for other things, I'm sorry for that mistake. But anyway, it basically allows you to get fortune on anything. Well, now that I think about it, probably would work on other machines, but anyway. And here's tool quality upgrades. And it has one just above diamonds. That'll go way faster. Works of energy. And here's how you make steel. That's required for this. The two sort of iron looking ingots. Another interesting thing about this mining dimension is that you can actually have slime ore and occasionally find clay ore. It looks sort of like that, but with gray. Well, just different shades of gray. Now on to the other sources of energy. Now this, like I would have said earlier, can turn things around like this. Craft it like so. Now you can put wood, iron, and stone instead of diamonds if it doesn't matter that much to you. Now, by default, it's Z to actually spin this thing so you can actually get this thing work. And that's only if you have, to me, that's only worth it if you have, well, something hold down the mouse button for you. But anyway, here's how you would craft that. I don't know why they have it look so wooden if they're made with metal. Now the water wheel. This is a rather cheap source of energy for those starting off. Oh, and the gears. Let me get to that. Wooden gear. Iron gear. That was a little fast off me. And steel. Okay. Now this. This thing is designed to be very fast and efficient. Energy stored up right away, so that's all. You can just press the timer to see how much energy is stored up in this and some of the other Minecraft. Now here is how you make a Stirling generator. This is my personal favorite as a result of the cold springs. With the bone meal that this provides, it can provide a great deal of wheat and seeds. Now, as you can see, these things are slowing down as their energy is used up. Now, for perhaps the most powerful of them, this is the windmill. I know it's not spinning right away, but that's because this center block is missing. Now, this is 15 by 15. You can, if you read off that last number just before the period, you'll see as much. And the center will be the 8th block from any of the 4 directions. However, the computer needs to know what the size of it is, and you can build it from varying sizes, 15 by 15 being the max. The blocks are still there, it's just hard to see sometimes. Now here's how you would make the windmill blades and how they would actually make the windmill controller. Now this is actually the most powerful of all the generators, and well, if you don't mind the size, it'll be pretty good for you. But the thing is, you would have to probably hook up a couple of junctures and so forth in order to get it to hook up to anything that wasn't directly nearby. And like in real life, the more junctures you have, the less power the further away it is. If I had this connected to something 100 blocks that way, it wouldn't have nearly as much energy. Same for the other power generators. Now as for this quarry, normally it doesn't leave the ores behind, but anyway, that's just something I'll have to figure out later. It's probably just me leaving. Well, I guess that's about the time I introduce some of the other mods, but anyway. Now, as you can see, I've got it hooked up underneath by hoppers here, and I've got 23 Stirling generators in order to make sure it's going real fast. Now, let's say that you want this part to stop. You can just simply throw the lever here, and it'll, well, if it's not already full, it'll get more full. Now, one other issue. You would have to empty out any furnaces that have dirt and gravel and so forth. If you set the ore generation up to 100, there would be more dirt and gravel than there is right now. I think I got mine set to 50 right now. There will be way less stone down there. And this is one of my other favorite machines, the warehouse. This number right here displays the amount of storage it can have. It can have 1,767,744 max items. And as you can probably see, it goes beyond the 64 limit of anything that would normally happen. Now, this is how you make the control block. This is an optional crafting station. And this is the smallest storage. The medium has a difference of 2 iron ingots. And the largest one has 4 ingots. Now the warehouse interface. If you want something like I'm doing right here to output to the warehouse, you would have to have the interface right here. I tried putting it one time at way over that way basically, and it wasn't working. It seems to have to be near the warehouse control block in order to work. And for some reason it has to have a Stirling generator or something to keep it powered. Now, one of my other favorite things, the auto crafting station for Ancient Warfare. Rather simple in this case, but anyway. Oh, that's right. It'll tell you anything you have to research in order to get this given block. And the way that you research it's basically a research tree. You research one thing and unlock several other things to research, and so forth. Until you hit the upper limit, but anyway. And here's the generators that would power it. Thankfully, not every auto crafter I use has that power, but anyway. You can have a lot of steel. And if you want to actually store energy, you can use these 3 kind of flywheels and flywheel controllers. Here's the smallest storage, medium with iron, and steel. Now each of these has a controller that goes with it. You can have a generator on one side, and on this side, well, anything that you want to connect to it. Now you can have a torque shaft, which I think just simply connects from something like this to basically a junction, which will hook up to from the generator directly to the machine in question. These are all junctions right here, and it seems as though if you wanted to hook up something like this, you would have to go from the quarry block all the way to the end. I've had numerous cases where I tried to hook up power sources, well, numerous power sources to one thing like the quarry, and for some reason wasn't working and getting the energy to the device. Until I started trying the other way around, just basically flipping it from one direction to the other. Now, this actually has multiple siege weapons, from battering rams to cannons to trebuchets to even boat storage, and that could help in some cases, but with my Mistcraft books and all that won't be much of an issue though. Now, to a degree, if you want to know if a certain ammunition goes in a certain contraption, all you would have to do is see if you can shift click it in here. Now here's some upgrades that will work with the catapult and some armor, obsidian armor being the best. Now you craft it this way, and you'd have to have 3 of these, 5 of these. Just enough items to tell you about any others. Now, okay, I guess I will actually demonstrate these. Okay, and by default, you would have to use space in order to actually fire. That was a little anticlimactic. Apparently it won't let me use all the different shots without having to manually. basically, oh, that's right. I had to shift right click it in order to actually get to this area. You can see the stats, and if you want to, you can pack it again and put it in your inventory. After crafting it, you can place it down by right clicking and so forth. And even the workers can be repacked, and I suppose I didn't cover that. Okay, let me demonstrate that. Sorry for my temporary amnesia. You would have to repack them in order to get them in your inventory if they're in trouble or something. And here's this. You can tell them to set home in a given place for them to return to, and you can tell them to follow you. Okay, that's a quick cover. Okay, now there's also other NPCs that you can use command baton for. Let me get up some of the others. Okay, gold, and you get the idea. Okay, and you can make a siege engineer that would actually manage to work with the siege engines. Now you can also make a combat NPC and a priest. The priest heals you. And if you want this combat NPC to be an archer, sort of like the worker, you would have to hand him a bow, a sword, etc., etc. Now, just for less trouble's sake, we'll... Oh, that's right. He's going to get food from one of the nearest town halls. These guys can actually get in trouble as far as, well, accidentally running into things and not knowing how to get around them. Okay. Okay, I guess I don't know how to do that, but anyway. But I do know how to get the combat NPCs working. Eventually. Although for some reason they only take a little bit. Now I'll give him my gear just to show his, how to actually use them. Apparently it won't let me shift click Tinker's construct items. But yeah, this stuff works, and for simplicity I'll get a diamond sword. Now as far as shields, there are some that naturally come with ancient warfare, but like I just showed, you can use other stuff. For some reason that's rather small, but anyway. Now the ancient warfare introduces a number of things that'll spawn in the overworld and several different currencies. Now you can also use a halberd if you really want to add some fanciness to it. Okay, and just as a small demonstration. Okay, he's fine now. Now, as you can see, he will take down any that you want, any enemy. And you can tell him, let's say there are 2 zombies I just spawned here. I could tell him to focus on one by right clicking and then right clicking another zombie. Simple, right? Okay, and that seems to be pretty much it. Hmm. Everything I can think about off the top of my head. Now there are, well, there are a couple benefits. Oh, that's right. You can also, if I could get it done right, you could also assign these guys to actually be cavalry. So you could have them swordsmen or archers on top of, well, so horses. And maybe if you can get it done right, maybe even something else that you tame that's rideable. But let's see about. Now, let me see. Now, as you can probably guess, I don't use the soldiers as much since I prefer Overlord, Ancient Warfare. By default, it's some other things, but I've got some things that are conflicting with it. Also, that was my problem. On the catapult, I couldn't switch ammo, so you'd have to press something to actually switch ammo. Mm. Okay, so for me, I had to press what correspond to number 2 function to get him to go somewhere. So you would have to press the different functions in order to actually get him to do certain things, apparently. And well, there you have it, I suppose. I hope I was at least somewhat helpful in this video. Thank you for watching, everybody. God bless y'all.